Hello guys, a very warm welcome to my IT class. We are going through C++ tutorials. In that one we have started with classes and objects. In the last video, the very basics of classes and objects we have studied. We have seen how a class could be defined, and the class we had defined with public data, and we accessed it outside the class. In main function we created one object and we computed area of a circle. So now here today we'll advance a little bit more, and we make the data member private. So it is not advisable, or it is not a good programming practice to make the data members public. Why? Because if you make it public, the very objective of data encapsulation is not met, because you are making the data visible to everyone. So normal practice, the very purpose of object oriented programming is what? Data security, data encapsulation. So you will be hiding the data. How you actually hide the data? By declaring a data member with scope private. That's why normally the data members must be declared private. So when you declare a data member as a private, you will not be able to access it outside. Then how to manipulate, how to access it? That's what I'll demonstrate here now. Through public interface, you have to interact with the private section or private data. So you can see here was some analogy I have given. Say this box represents a class. Then this part is a private data and member functions, and this is a public data and member function. So there is an entry for a public from outside. There is an entry for public. Then once you come in the public section, again you can access the private data. So this is a via public methods, public member functions, you can access private data. For instance, say this private data, you can treat it as a officer or principal. You cannot meet him directly, you cannot directly interact with him. You need some person through whom you will interact. So you want a document to get signed from principal. Then what you will do, you're the person sitting outside the cabin, you will ask him, he will take your document inside and get it signed, because for that person principal is accessible, for you it is he is not accessible. This is how what we do now, we access the private data or member functions through public data or member functions. I'll demonstrate that with the help of example. That's why we need to define member functions in the public section. The primary objective of member functions in public section is to develop an interface to interact with the private data. So outside world, how they should interact with the class, they can interact with the help of this public member function. So now let's say here class circle is there. The class circle has a private data float R. So I have not mentioned anything private here. Still it is by default private, because if you don't mention anything in C++, class has a default scope as private. That's why though there is no any private keyword used over there, it is considered as private data member. So now public, for that we have to mention clearly public section. Whatever you write under this, that comes under public section. So now the two things are there. You want to compute area of a circle. You have defined a class circle in order to create one circle object and compute area of this circle. So once you create an object, say some object you will create, some circle you will create, then that should be initialized. The circle's radius must be initialized. So initializing R is one task. Once it gets initialized, the object's radius got initialized. Now we are supposed to compute area. So two tasks are there here. One is to initialize and the other is to compute area. Two simple tasks, you can say. One simple task is to initialize the radius and the other simple task is to compute area. So you can ask me why you are defining two functions, why not define only one function and in that you initialize as well as compute area. So that is not the good programming practice, because our functions must do atomic task, means the function must be defined for a single task. Now you are defining one function for initialization, it will do only initialization of radius. and then you will define another function compute area that will only compute area. So this way we should make it is a good programming practice to have atomic functions. So one function should not have a mixture of jobs, combination of 2-3 jobs. That is not a good programming practice. That's why I'll be defining a method like init here. Say what I need to do, I'll create first a circle object. You know how to create a circle object. Circle C1, if I say, so one object is created. C1 is a variable of type circle, so that's what we say, C1 is object. Okay, this C1 must be initialized. Now if it were if the radius were public, I would have said C1 dot r is equal to 2.5. this way I would have said if radius were public. Right now radius is not public, this is not allowed. Now I cannot access radius in main or outside the class. Radius is not at all accessible. So now what is the solution? You go to the class now. So to go to class, here the control must be forced to enter into the class. You should transfer the control. For that, what is the pretext we have? Function call. So if you give a call here, the control jumps to the definition. So give a call to function. Say there is a function init and pass the value. You are calling a function init 2.5. say this is the function, but this function you are calling to initialize object C1. so C1 dot you have to say C1 dot. Now you are calling the member function init, which is defined in public section with the help of objects. So you are already familiar that any data member or member function of a class can be accessed outside the class only using object. Object name is a must and dot operator. So that's why I have called now. This is a function call. It's a call. Now I need to define it. Let me define here now. Since it is not returning any value, void, the function name is init and the function is passing some real value. So take it in some variable, say x, and this x, what you have copied in x, 2.5 is copied in x. This x you must assign to the radius. So radius is available here, r. So this way the radius will get initialized. This is the init method. Now C1 object is created and C1's radius got initialized to 2.5. Now you want to compute the area. For that, again define a call a function. Say this is a function. Since it is returning area, say float a is equal to C1's area you want. That's why C1 object must be used. Any function name you can use. Find area like this. Okay, you don't need to pass anything because radius is there in class, so the same radius we will be using. And then you can say cout area is equal to 3.14. sorry, we are calling the function here. So find area is equal to, we have called this a itself, you can display like this. The variable a is representing your area that you have to do it. So that's all we need to do in main function. Then we'll define the function here. Find area function I have to define. Since find area is returning a value float, return type is float, find area is a function name, find area, nothing I am passing to it, and simply you are computing the area here. So directly you can give a return statement, return 3.142 into r is available here of C1. This r is of C1 because you have invoked the function with C1. So that's what we have in find area function. So this is how the class is completed and the member functions have been defined in class. So I'll let you know, we should not define, actually it is not a good programming practice to define functions inside class, because when functions are defined inside class, they are by default they will become inline functions. So we'll going to have a detailed discussion over this later on. when we define them outside using scope resolution operator. Right now our aim is to understand if we declare a private data, how we should be able to access through member functions. This is what I wanted to demonstrate here. I guess the things are clear. Now we'll try one more example of the same kind, then it will be more clear to you. So now let's say define a class called account with data as balance, create one account and find simple interest earned if the period is 5 years and rate of interest is 8.5% it is. So let's define now. So what he has told here, clearly he has told us to create a private data member called balance. So let's define here float balance. So this is a balance now. Then you need to define again those two functions. One function is to initialize, same pattern we'll have, void init, and that will going to initialize the balance. Say balance is equal to bal is equal to whatever you have brought from main. You have seen there in the last example. Now we'll have a compute float, compute SI, or you can say find SI. You don't need to pass anything because the balance is there with you. So you can say return what is that PNR by 100. Balance principal amount is balance here for us. Balance number of years he has given 5, rate of interest he has given 8.5, and this entire thing is divided by 100. That's what it will return. So it returns. Now we'll define a main function for it. In main, simply we need to create a object of it. Create one object, account A1, then initialize the account with some balance. Say in it I'll initialize the balance with 5,000. Then I'll compute the simple interest. Float SI is equal to A1 dot find SI. That is the function I have defined. I'll call find SI on A1. Now I'll display the simple interest. See how SI is equal to your SI. This is how the function will be done. So the same pattern will follow for almost all further examples. Whenever you have been asked to define a class with data, declare the data in private section and define the methods in the public section. So now A1 dot init 5,000 is passed in X is assigned to balance. This is how A1's balance got initialized, and when you call A1 dot find SI, the control comes here. Now the control comes here, then balance, this balance is of A1 because you have invoked upon object A1. We'll have detailed discussion on this implicit explicit object when we study passing objects in further subsequent lectures. So now this is how it will return the simple interest that you will display. This is how we establish communication among main and class when the data is private. Let's now see some more examples you can try. Look at the screen now. You can see these are the 3 examples. On the same pattern you try. So on the same pattern when you try, you will get a concrete idea of defining a class, creating an object, calling member functions, how the communication is taking place. That will be clear to you. So first is a define a class called employee with data as salary. Same way, now the data member is salary, and then init method to initialize this salary, and find tax method to return 20% of the tax. If else you have to use here, if the salary is about 20,000, 20%, otherwise it is 10%. And similar way, the second example, it has now 2 data members, X and Y. Now create one point in the XY plane and check whether that point lies inside a circle or outside the circle or on the circle of unity radius. The radius of that circle is 1 and the center of that circle is the origin itself. So just think over it and try that. Third, define a class called item with data as price. Create one item to find its price to be paid by customer. Actual price you are supposed to pay to the this one shopkeeper. What is the amount you are supposed to pay him? Because what price they have listed, we need to add 20% GST also. 20% of GST, 20% of price you are supposed to add. Say if 1000 is the price given, then 200 will be how much? 400, I guess. So 400 will be GST. So 1000 plus 400, it will be 1400 is the price to be paid by customer. This is how you can try these 3 examples, and we're going to wind up now. We'll wind up the session with the takeaways. What we learned in this one, what we got in this one is, in order to implement data encapsulation, you must have data members in private section of the class. Once you have it in private section, in order to access and manipulate this, you must define member functions in the public section of the class. That I demonstrated you how you can define it in public section and how you can call it from main. And finally, the public data members or member functions can be accessed from outside class using object and dot operator. So this is how we establish communication. Hope you enjoyed the session. With such more interesting stuff will be coming in future also. So be in touch. If you enjoyed, really share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.